What's up everybody? I'm here to showcase this Silver Surfer big combo deck that just got me an Infinity ticket in Conquest mode. I was playing a few different versions of this deck during my last live stream and it was going very well. And this is the final form that I settled on. And I'm going to give you a deck breakdown of all the cards in it, as well as some possible replacements, good and bad locations and matchups, and then we'll go into the turn-by-turn breakdown, followed by my Conquest run, getting that Infinity ticket. So I do have timestamps on the video as usual, so feel free to jump ahead if you just want to get to that sweet, exciting gameplay. But let's get into it. So this is the most updated version of my Silver Surfer big combo deck. Since Magik did get buffed down to a 3-2, not only does she get hit by Silver Surfer's buff, but it's great to just allow Silver Surfer decks to get one extra turn and still let you play Sera on turn 5 to allow some really big combos. So that's really what we are revolving this deck around. Now there are some versions coming out right now that have Mr. Negative. I originally did have Mr. Negative in here, but I found it just wasn't needed. Okay, the cards are honestly so cheap, and we already have cards like Zabu, Magik, and Sera that let you cheat out cards early, or obviously give you the extra turn, and gives you that extra energy as well. We do have Shadow King in here. He is great at countering those Silver Surfer negative decks, as well as some other decks like Nimrod Destroy when they play Shuri Nimrod. Ironheart here is great for consistency. Maybe you can pull the combo off the top of your deck. And then of course we just have a couple 3-drops. But I'm going to go into the main win conditions soon. But first let's get into some possible replacements if you don't have all these cards. This deck does have a lot of Series 3 cards. So I'm assuming that if you're Series 3 complete, you can probably make this deck. Okay, the only cards that are higher than Series 3 are Zabu, who was in the Season Pass at one point, and Ironheart. But he is replaceable. We'll get into that. If you are not Series 3 complete, I'm going to assume this deck is actually pretty hard for you to put together. And for that, I apologize. That's kind of the nature of Silver Surfer and the Wong Mystique combo. So let's get into some replacements. Okay, so you can see my version of the deck on the left, and here are some replacements that are just very easy to make on the right. Okay, the top line here, these cards are good, I like them, but they are not 100% needed. Even a card like Brood, which is normally perfect for Silver Surfer, sometimes it takes up too much space, okay? This deck, you can get 7 turns, and you can just get so many cards out. Board space can be a major factor, so even a card like Brood is replaceable here. Now, an easy thing you can replace some of these cards with is the Mr. Negative combo that I mentioned. I tried it out, I felt it just wasn't needed, and I'd rather have a 3-drop over that 4-cost Mr. Negative that doesn't get buffed by Silver Surfer. But you're free to play that combo if you wish. And then in the middle here, I just have a blacked out card with the 3-cost on the top, and that's because it's a Silver Surfer deck. Okay, you can just put in whatever 3-cost you like. If you love Storm and Juggernaut combo, go ahead and go for that. If you like Polaris, Maximus, Cosmo, whatever it is you like, you can slide it in if it's a 3-cost, because that's how Silver Surfer decks work. It will get buffed. And if you don't have Wong or Mystique, you can't really go for this big power combo, but you could just play a pretty standard Silver Surfer deck that uses Sera and Surfer. Maybe you even use Spider-Man instead of Sera and Surfer. Let's take a look at the win conditions for this deck. Now, you do not need to play all of these cards in a given game to have a good combo. You will realistically have maybe about half of these cards played and you'll get a big combo off and you'll still get a lot of power. On the left here, we've got Zabu, Magik, and Sera that all give energy discounts, or they allow 1 extra turn, which means an extra 7 energy at the end of the game. And that's why I believe that Mr. Negative really wasn't needed here. But if you have Sera with Zabu, those two alone can let you bring out Wong, Mystique, and Surfer on the last turn. or if you have Sera with Magik and no Zabu, those two alone can also bring out this big combo. Okay, so really Sera paired with either Zabu or Magik is going to let you go really big with the combo. Now, if you don't get Sera down, you can still do some combos with Wong, but you won't be able to afford sliding Mystique in there unless you're playing Wong and Mystique on different turns. And then, of course, for the big on-reveal powerhouses, we have Ironheart and Surfer. Okay, that's what we're really setting up for. We want to play Wong, copy his effect with Mystique, and then play Ironheart or Silver Surfer. Sometimes both. Sometimes you get Wong, Mystique, Ironheart, Surfer all in one lane, and when that happens, you almost feel bad for your opponent. But then you realize you're getting some nice conquest tickets, and that makes you feel good again. Now let's look at some key cards in some good and bad matchups for this deck. Now I actually do have Silver Surfer on this list for good matchups because we are playing Shadow King in this deck. And whether your opponent is playing Shadow King or not in their Silver Surfer deck, you can really hit them hard with your Shadow King, especially if they have priority on the last turn. You're going to see in the clips that follow in this video, I had an opponent who was playing the Mr. Negative version of the Silver Surfer big combo, and my Shadow King was just an MVP, getting rid of all of those buffs. It was great to see. Also, a card like Venom, he's going to destroy your opponent's cards, and then you can hit him down with Shadow King. And Shuri, whatever she buffs up, we see a ton of Shuri Nimrod in the meta right now. Just play Shadow King, okay? It does a better job than Shang-Chi at dealing with that deck because Shang-Chi cannot deal with Nimrod. This deck just also spits out massive power, so if your opponent's playing something really synergistic that doesn't have tech cards, like those Shuri decks, like some discard decks, you might just outpower them, okay? If they have nothing to stop your combo, you can just go really big and get crazy numbers that they cannot keep up with. Now, to look at some possible bad matchups, because all good decks have some bad matchups and counters, Cosmo obviously is one of them. If your opponent has Cosmo, you need to play Wong, Mystique, and Surfer all in one turn on a lane that your opponent cannot predict, okay? Or you need priority and get it out before your opponent plays Cosmo. But that's something you're going to have to work around. It's something you're going to have to be really smart and make sure your opponent doesn't just have an easy Cosmo because it's so obvious where you're going to play your Wong. Another thing that can hurt you is Rock Slide, actually, because it will add crap to your deck. And being a combo deck, if you draw some of your pieces, but you don't draw Silver Surfer or Ironheart, you just have no power. Okay, if you get Wong and Mystique down, but no Surfer or Ironheart, your combo is just going to fall flat. It's going to really mess you up. So this deck does have multiple options, multiple win conditions from various cards, but the more your opponent can mess with that, the worse it is going to be for you. And then, of course, we've got a card like Sandman or Wave coming into the final turn that's only going to allow you to play one card, and that will almost certainly ruin you with this deck. So watch out for Sandman and Wave. Now, there are a few types of locations that you should be on the lookout for and some that you should be trying to avoid. For ones that you really like, anything that helps out with on reveal or even ongoing like Onslaught Citadel is going to be great for this deck. Okay, it's going to boost your on reveals and or it's going to boost Wong and Mystique to help boost your on reveals. You're just going to go crazy. Okay, if you have Carmitage and your opponent doesn't have an on reveal deck, and they can't block you with Cosmo, you're just going to blow them out of the water. Location like the Big House is also great for you because you have so many cards that cost 3 or less. And especially if you get Zabu or Sera down, that means that your Wong and Iron Lad will also be 3 cost or less, and you can just fit cards into the Big House while your opponent may not be able to. Another type of location that you should be on the lookout for are locations that increase the power of cards played there, because we have Shadow King in this deck. Your opponent could be getting the power of all of their cards doubled through a location like Shuri's Lab, and on the last turn you can just drop Shadow King to get rid of all those buffs for your opponent, have Shadow King get doubled, and then play stuff behind him even if you need to, and just get a free win. Okay, so any type of locations that give permanent buffs to cards, you can really hold on to Shadow King and make a big flip on that location on the last turn. For locations that are going to make the game a bit harder for us, it's going to be ones that we are just going to have trouble playing on. Something like Crimson Cosmos is going to be really hard for us. Okay, it's the opposite of the big house, and almost all of the cards in this deck cost 3 already or will be 3 costs once they get a discount, so that's going to make it really hard. Something like Sanctum Sanctorum is also going to be hard because we have nothing to add cards to other lanes. Okay, or add any power to other lanes. There's no Jeff in this deck. There's no Doctor Doom. We're going to have trouble with that. Now, if our opponent's playing a lockdown deck with Storm, that might be alright for us, even if they Storm or Professor X a lane, because if we did get a 3-cost card into that lane before it got closed off, we can always buff it at the end of the game. Okay, but it's really difficult for locations that we just can't play any cards in. And then, of course, Subterranea, the nemesis of every combo and lockjaw deck out there. We talked about this with a card like Rock Slide. Having 5 rocks go into your deck is really going to mess up your consistency. And if you just don't get the combo pieces, this deck's probably not going to win on power alone because it doesn't have a lot of solo big power cards. Time to get into my favorite part of the video. It is the turn by turn breakdown. Now, your games with this deck are really going to vary. Okay, again, there's so many combo pieces. You don't need all of them in every game. You're just going to pick and choose the ones that you have, play to the board, play to your opponents, and have it all come together. Okay, but I'm going to show you an example of what that could look like and some of the key things you're going to be looking out for. So let's say turns 1 and 2, we didn't have anything. We didn't get Zabu on turn 2. That's fine. Turn 3, we're just going to look to play a 3-drop. Okay, Bishop is great, played first if you have him in hand. If not, go ahead and play another 3-drop. It doesn't really matter. So it was okay that we did not have Zabu on turn 2. Again, we can still make the combo with just Magik and Sera on the board. So we do want to get Magik in before turn 5 if possible, because Sera on turn 5 means we have 2 additional turns to play a bunch of cards. So for this scenario, let's say we did end up having Magik. We get her down on turn 4. We'll go ahead and play her on the left location right next to Bishop. Those are both 3-cost cards. They'll both get powered up big time by Silver Surfer. Coming into turn 5, it is now a 7-turn game. If we have Sera, we're just going to drop her right now, and she's really going to open up a ton of options. We are going to have to be wary about board space, because again, you just get so many cards down, you run out of space on the locations, okay? You fill it up really quick, so that is one of the things you are going to have to manage. Because you got Sera down on turn 5, all your 3-cost cards now cost 2 going into turn 6. So you're just going to slap them down. Okay, we're just going to look to play some 3-cost cards. It doesn't matter too much. You can use Killmonger or Shadow King appropriately if it's going to counter your opponent's side of the board. Brood is great if you do have good board space and the locations are ones you can play on. We're really just putting targets on the board for Silver Surfer to buff on the last turn. Or if we don't draw Silver Surfer, we would hopefully have Ironheart to buff our targets on the last turn. And on turn 7, you guessed it, we are playing our major combo. We are dropping Wong, Mystique, and Silver Surfer all in the same location. Now, we do have an extra space here, so if you did get another 3-drop on this location, that's fine. Okay, it's just going to power up that middle location more. But really, we do want to be wary of that space. I usually like to leave an open space on my combo location just in case something happens, just in case a card gets added there, or I have to kind of switch and play different combo cards. I just want to be safe. Because if your locations fill up and you don't have 3 open spaces on any one of them, you cannot do the full Wong, Mystique, Surfer combo, and that's going to lose you some power. So if this is how the game played out and we got to turn 7 with our big Wombo combo, the final board state should look like this, where you just have major power on 2 locations. Now on this middle location here, Silver Surfer is really just buffing up Mystique. If we don't have another card there, he doesn't buff himself. And Wong is a 4-cost card, so he doesn't get buffed. So you're really fighting for the other 2 locations. Okay, you're kind of sacrificing the middle, fighting for the others, but hopefully you can make your sacrificial location the one that your opponent is fighting for the most. But man, 40 power on the other locations. That's pretty nuts. If your opponent doesn't have a deck with some tech cards that can disrupt you and you draw your combo, it's going to be very difficult for you to lose. Okay, it really is, because 40 power on these 2 is crazy, and you don't even need these specific 3 drops. Again, you're going to mix and match with this combo, and we're going to see that in the upcoming gameplay. So why don't we get into that now? Base. Makes me wonder what kind of deck they have. Maybe they're just an aggressive snapper, though. You know, maybe they just know it's a bad location. I don't know, but played a bit safe. Asteroid M is a bit tough. We could just magic it away. Maybe we will. Yeah, maybe we just magic it. Or we fill it. I mean, we want to play Bishop first. Okay, I think we might be against another Surfer deck, which makes me think my opponent just scamas me with that Brood. They could be Cerebro too, but that seems a little unlikely. We can go ahead and play Magic right now. Pass, okay. Hitmonkey, okay. They filled up this location. That's great for me. I'm a bit confused why they played Hitmonkey so early. I thought maybe it was a bounce deck. Maybe they forgot he got moved. I mean, he is 3 now, so I think it's a negative Surfer deck. But with Bishop here, I'm pretty confident. I don't have Mystique in hand, but I think my opponent has a Mr. Negative. That's why they snapped last game, because they had Zabu into negative.
I am Iron Man.
Iron Man isn't great for me. I need Shadow King and or Mystique. Those are great cards for me. Killmonger, not so much. I think I'm going to play Iron Lad right now. If I get Shadow King, I still get to draw him, obviously. If I get Mystique, he copies Sera. So I'm not sure if this was a good play. But we will go for it. Even Shadow King now hits Mystique. So it's actually not horrible. And it could... Oh, Mystique didn't get hit again. That would have been great if she did. Okay, we did get Shadow King, though. So our opponent now knows that we have Shadow King. So I think we're looking pretty good. We will Shadow King, Wong, Surfer. Doesn't guarantee we win the right. They still have Iron Man, but I think we're looking pretty good. Our opponent already used Mystique. They can just do a Wong Surfer like me. They can't do anything with Mystique, so hopefully we can get these 4 cubes to start off the stream in a good way. Their left side actually gets powered up a little bit more. Do we tie on the left? It gets powered up more by Surfer. That's 4 more, but my Bishop was ahead. Oh, but I just win the middle. Okay, so I got a nice 4 cubes here. Yeah, their middle is just behind, and we did tie the left. Okay. I think we're going to see a Lost Surfer tonight, actually, because everyone's playing. So I just have to... There's Shadow King. Okay, here I have Shadow King and Sera. So I'm feeling better now. And I have Zabu. Okay, I have both my energy discount cards. I do need to draw my combo. That's actually good for me, I think. Just because it fills up space on the board. And Mr. Negative takes up a spot on the board. So my opponent might just not play him. I can do Killmonger on the last turn. Let's see what we get here. What our opponent laid down. It was Magik, okay. So this game will almost certainly go to turn 7. I think we just skip this turn and we play Sera next turn. Maybe our opponent plays Super Scroll. We will see. We do not have Surfer or Wong or Mystique actually, so it's a little bit tough. Okay, I think I can win the right. I'll go ahead and do this. Okay, our opponent's Iron Man. I'm assuming they're gonna Mystique next. Okay, Iron Lad is gonna give me Surfer or Wong or Bishop. Is Wong actually? Okay. I think I like this order. It's a bit tough. I think I can fight for the left. And the middle I can almost certainly win. Oh, but I'm not getting Surfer or anything. Because he copied Wong, and now I lost my Ironheart.
I am Iron Man.
That is tough. Okay, but they're ahead. So look, Shadow King just kind of wins me the middle. Okay, I think I will win. They'd have to do something really big on the left, but I think they just play a 3-drop. No point in retreating, we're at 2 cubes. Okay. Yeah. Oh, they didn't have Surfer either. Neither of us had Surfer. Wow. Wow, but we actually took it. There we go. Our combo Surfer Shadow King version taking out the Mr. Negative Surfer. He almost had a comeback. But we got a really good start with Shadow King. He got us an early 8 cubes, and that was critical. Alright, this person has Magik as their picture. That's probably a good sign that they're playing Magik. I wonder if it's another Negative Surfer. Viper's interesting. In fact, another location could give me something that's good to Viper. You never know. Let's stick Zabu on the left. See what this third location is. Wow. Wow, I said that could happen. I kind of want to play a 3-drop. My opponent could be playing a destroy deck. Let me play a 3-cost. But I've got Viper in my bag of tricks here. What are we up against? Thor, okay, they might be Surfer, they might be Lockjaw. We honestly have no idea. Shadow King is gonna wreck Thor. I'm gonna save Viper for next turn, I guess, so I can play a 3-drop. If I draw one, and Viper. Okay, Iron Lad, anything he gives me is good. Wong, good. Sera, good. Brood, he's got space. Bishop and Ironheart. Ironheart's not great, it means I'm keeping the ninja maybe. But it'll actually be 0 power. Okay. Wait a minute. Shadow King's gonna be really good. Setting my cards back to normal from this hazmat. But obviously only in one lane. Viper's pretty funny here. Send him this crap card, although it'll be -2 because I do have Luke Cage. Or actually give me winning going into the final turn. Which is a little bad, honestly. And I say that because they're gonna part Thor after we Shadow King. Okay, Black Panther. We'll do this in case we draw Wong. Okay, Wong Surfer is gonna be good for us here. Okay, wait a minute, then that helps our chances of getting Wong. Wow. Okay, I do expect my opponent to Mjolnir plus Odin in the middle. That's very good. Very, very strong. Shadow King, unfortunately, is going to do nothing against this person. As long as they draw Luke Cage. My opponent only played one card. It might have just been Odin. Okay, so we will take this first game.
Mjolnir!
That drops us by 4 in the middle. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. We know over half of our opponent's deck. They basically know everything we are up to. They're just not on a real deck. We now know their full deck. Nowhere is horrible for them. They will not play there. And they also have Magik. Oh my, okay, if they snap, we leave. I mean, I don't know, if we get Surfer, I think we can buff our cards more than they can buff theirs. They have Wong, they do not have Mystique. Ooh. Rickety Bridge. Let's get rid of it. I mean, Rickety Bridge is bad for White Tiger. But we'll just get rid of it. We need a place to play too. And they might have actually just played Magik as well. Yeah, they had the same idea. Okay. So we're obviously hoping to get Wong and Mystique. Iron Lad will tell me what I'm getting. I don't know how much it helps me though. And we can get Sera down next turn on the left. What do you get? Okay, I'm drawing Bishop next. Our opponent has not snapped. If they decide to play Gambit, they're losing their hand. So they're probably not going to play him. Hazmat though is really good for them. They got Luke Cage down. Hazmat here is not bad. I can reset my cards later with Shadow King, but I obviously don't have him in hand right now. I don't have Wong either, which is pretty unfortunate. Okay.
Opponent snapped.
They snapped here. My Silver Surfer is really going to buff things. But if they hit me with Hazmat, I think I lose. I'm going to stay safe. It's a 1 cube loss. Right, we're just in the 1 cube rounds, so I'm going to stay safe. That's obviously a great location for them, being in a full on-reveal deck, and they just retreated. They were pissed that I retreated. So they conceded the whole match because they were tired of playing against me. Said, how dare I retreat against them and not let them do their full wombo combo. We're on game 3. All right, we're against Bink, not to be confused with Binks. It is Bink. Their picture is Sera. I'm assuming they're running a Surfer deck, maybe a negative Surfer deck. That seems to be the rage after Cozy put out a video on it. We've got a decent hand, and it gave us Thor. That's not bad, but we have to see what comes out of X Mansion, because that is gonna really give an edge to one player. Okay, the new Kitty Pryde, just 1 power each time. Killmonger's nice, but I might have priority. We'll see if I actually get to hit their kitty with my Killmonger. If they get something good from X Mansion that could give them priority on turn 4, and maybe I just drop Killmonger next turn and hope I can snipe Kitty during that transition. Okay, Jean Grey and Wasp. It's a high Evo deck. Wow. Memory Hill's kind of ugly. They got Mysterio. Okay. Let me extend the turns while also possibly giving up priority to my opponent here. Yeah, they filled the location. It might just be them playing Kitty though. Oh, okay. Wait a second now. Dang, I almost gave them priority. I still have it. Okay, next turn, I believe we can snipe a Kitty. We've got Zabu down. We've got Sera down. We have Wong, Surfer in hand.
I am Iron Man.
Okay, my opponent has priority. We are going to snipe here. So it gives me Mystique. It's not horrible.
Opponent snapped.
Our opponent's feeling good. They have snapped. Let's do Killmonger. I mean, Thor on the right, sorry. We'll do Thor. But we will have to play a card in the middle because of this Deadpool. Yuck. Okay, let's do this. Hopefully we snipe Kitty. We did not. That did not go well.
Face the might of Asgard.
Not well at all. Our opponent has a Magneto in their deck. Okay, well we are not going to beat this Magneto Iron Man. I mean, we could just win the other lanes. Is the honest truth. I'm gonna retreat this one. I'm gonna be safe. I was just unsure. If you're unsure, just take it safe. Not a great hand again. No Surfer or Wong. I cannot retreat this time. I just can't. I cannot retreat, no. Okay. Could be bad locations. I actually don't know if they have good locations. Ongoing effects disabled there is a little bad for my opponent. They have Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic. They cannot play him in the middle. Okay, that's fine. We're all in, by the way. Our opponent snapped. And that's it. We are just all in. I say we just magic it. Okay, they got Mr. Fantastic, that's fine. They have a copy of him in their hand. We don't care. We do not care. We're going to simply Wong, Mystique, Surfer behind Dark Dimension. And we're going to have to lay out some 3-drops, and that's about it. We could even put Killmonger behind Dark Dimension to kill their Kitty Pryde and their Iron Fist. Jessica Jones we're going to beat with... Oh, that's nice. We are getting nice 3-drops. We're going to beat Jessica Jones very easily with Shadow King. Brood the middle, Shadow King right. hit everything with Surfer, I think we're going to win this game. Okay, Surfer the left. We actually maybe want to be ahead on the last turn, just so our cards flip first. Could do this right now. This and this. It's not too shabby. Our opponent might just play Living Tribunal on the left. But as long as they don't have a hidden Cosmo that they waited all game to play, I am very happy with this outcome. And the cards I got down. Okay, Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
Plus Tribunal plus something. Yeah, it's just not enough. I know, I've played enough Tribunal to know that that combo is not enough. Even though there's 7 turns, especially because there's 7 turns. Okay, you can get more than that in a 6-turn game. 7 turns will often help your opponent. But, you know, credit to our opponent. They were playing some wild stuff. I still think it's very possible they were early pool 3, and they're just a good player. They did just miss Marvel Emo me, though. That's kind of salty. So I'll wait to just give another fist bump right at the end, because I don't DM people like that. And they give me another fist bump. Okay, they're just doing that because I had overkill. But I think they were actually early pool 3, but a very good player. And, you know, good on them for being in Conquest. It's tough if you're early pool 3, or even pools 1 and 2 playing Conquest. But I think we just earned ourselves an Infinity ticket, and Shadow King here with the boosters was a bit of a star. I mean, especially if you're going against another Silver Surfer Mr. Negative deck. He is a star. Let's get the win here. None of those battles were easy. Maybe the second one was a bit wonky, but here we go. Infinity ticket with the Surfer deck. Once Infinity Conquest comes out for the season, I might use this deck. I really like it, and it's honestly pretty quick. Some of the decks I've played before just take forever in Conquest. Big combo deck like this, it's pretty quick. So, that's solid. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.